Hello, young future titans of industry, young and future titans of industry, young people that will change the world. I am here to teach you how to make what we call in this class a money machine with a very, very simple formula. And before you think this is going to be hard, or before you think that you're not smart enough to make a company as big as Apple, as an example, if you have iPhones and love your iPhone and your iPods and all of the equipment that comes along with it, before you think you're not capable of doing it, I want you to listen to this. Now, it is always best to do really amazing things when you're young. They always say start them when they're young, right? There's also a saying that says the youth are the innovators and creators of tomorrow, and the elders are keepers of tradition. And the reason that is because young people, your mind is still soft. It's still moldable, right? It's very hydrated. It's empty. It doesn't have anything in it. It's a brand new engine, mental engine. And that's the best time for you to learn to do amazing things. And you have a lot more time to practice it when you start young. Did you know that this young man here to the upper right-hand corner got a multi-million-dollar deal to produce new clothing of ties on the Shark Tank? Did you know that? Have you ever seen this young man? They say that he's the next big thing. This young lady in the Bumblebee outfit, she got an $86 million deal with a major supermarket, international supermarket, to produce her very own special line of lemonade. Did you also know that the earmuff was invented by a 15-year-old boy back in the 1800s named Chester Greenwood? He simply took 2 pieces of cotton and some wire and put it on top of his ears because he was playing outside in the farm where he was cold, and he invented the earmuff. And then he did some paperwork and patented it so he would own it so nobody could take his idea. And he lived the rest of his life as an aristocrat. An aristocrat is somebody who is looked up to, wealthy, drives around in a nice cart and buggy and wears very nice clothes. All because he just had an idea at 15 years old that changed the world. And you can do that too. That's what this class is here to teach you to do. The best part about it is that this money machine that we're going to teach you how to make, you can do it with your friends. And I'm sure you know, doing things alone is boring. But doing things with your best friends, that's fun. Now, if you're sitting listening to all this saying, why should I believe that you can teach me how to be like these people? That's a very good question. That's a very legitimate question. You have every right to think that. So let me quickly tell you a little bit about me. I'm a pretty old guy now. I've lived on this earth for 55 years. I can't believe it. I used to be, a few days ago, just as young as you. All the sparkle in my eye that any child could have. And my mother used to really give me some pretty serious punishments if I didn't read books. So I was a big avid reader, and when I grew up, when I graduated from high school, she sent me away to a college in Boston called Northeastern University, where I studied to be an electrical engineer. And the reason why that's important is engineers, if you've ever heard of that, engineers are the people that make bridges and telephones and pianos and cranes and cars. Engineers make stuff. That's what they're good at, right? And there are different types. I studied to be an electrical engineer. And when I finally graduated from electrical engineering, I worked as something called a sales engineer, where I was not only engineering products like computers for large companies in Manhattan and all over the country, I was also selling them. So I didn't know this at the time, but all companies are only made of 2 parts. The part that engineers the product and the part that sells it. And my job title was sales engineer. Now, I thought I was only a sales engineer, but I was really a spy. Because I grew up in Brooklyn, parents come from Jamaica, grew up in Flatbush, Brooklyn, and we moved to Long Island when I was just a boy. But I grew up watching my parents fighting over money all the time, and there was never enough money, and it just seemed like money was the thing that was just hurting us the most. So I pledged that when I grew up, I was going to figure out how to make a money machine, and I was going to give it to my parents so they would stop arguing. So I was working in these companies as a sales engineer. They thought I was a sales engineer, but I was really a spy. Because my goal was to steal as much information on how they made money and not only give it to my parents, but to give it to everyone else in my neighborhood. I didn't want anybody belly aching and hurting over not having enough money. And as soon as I figured it out, hanging out with all of these people who had lots more money than me, watching them, studying them on TV, just being obsessed with it quietly, I wrote a book about it. And that book has now turned into a whole program that I give to schools and young people and old people all across the country, because my goal is to make sure that nobody ever has to suffer for not having enough money. I also played music as a little boy. I played jazz guitar. And when I was at Northeastern, there was a really big school for music that a lot of famous musicians go to called the Berklee School of Music. And playing jazz guitar and working as an engineer, that's where I discovered the secrets of how to invent just about anything. And again, as soon as I figured all this out, I wrote it down in a book, and I'm here to give it to you. So people might think that I'm a sales engineer, but I'm here to admit to you that I've been a spy the whole time. And your mission, or I hope you'll accept it, is to take this information, this secret formula, very simple, that I'm about to give you, and infiltrate every company that you feel like you love what they do. If you love music, I want you to go infiltrate a music company. If you love sewing, if you love basketball, if you love sneakers, whatever you love, I want you to take this formula, go infiltrate and spy on the biggest companies that do basketball and sneakers, figure out their magic formula, and then bring it back to your community to build huge companies in your community, or what we're going to call in this class, a money machine. And if you accept this mission, you have to be quiet about it. Because if they find out that you're a spy like I've been, they're not going to be happy about it. All right? They don't want people finding out their secrets and sharing it with everybody else. But that's what we have to do. Because if we want to save the people that we love, we have to make sure that we get rid of all of this hurt and pain surrounding money. And that's what you're about to learn how to do right now. So here it is, my big formula for money. I invented it. Money is equal to value over time. Super simple, right? And this is the book that I wrote for you about my journey from a little boy, when I was a little boy like you, all the way up until now, on my journey to discover this formula. And I'm going to read it to you. You're going to get a book, when you're going to get an audio book where I'm going to be reading this book to you. It's going to tell you exactly what to do to make your very own money machine using this formula. It is super simple. And whenever I give it to young people and old people, they use it, and many of them have gone on to be very, very successful. And I have a feeling, I know how smart young people are. I have a feeling if you take this and master it, you'll make more money than you'll even know what to do with. But remember, the goal is to share this with as many people as you can and save your loved ones from the pain of not ever having enough money. Now, to quickly demonstrate how easy this is, if you've ever seen this picture to your right with the two H's and the little zero there, that is a money machine for making water. And if you understand that simple diagram, then I can teach you how to make a company. I can teach you how to make just about anything. In fact, that little diagram is the basis of how engineers think about making anything, including TikTok and Instagram and your beloved iPhone. So if you understand that, as of right now, you're an engineer. And engineers are the best out of anyone else on earth at making cool stuff. Other people do it that are not engineers, but engineers do it consistently. They do it over and over and over again. They can do it whenever they want, and that's why everybody is sort of afraid of them. So all the math that you think, why are we doing this? I'm going to show you how it makes you a money machine. All the writing and all the reading, I'm going to show you how that makes a money machine. All of your teachers saying don't argue with each other and be more emotion, and all of your emotions that you don't understand, I'm going to show you how all of that plays into making a money machine. I'm going to show you why it's important to work as a team, because everyone in this class right now, you're going to need their help to do this. You have to stay together. You cannot do this alone. No matter how talented you are, you cannot do it alone, because right now you're on the bench. You're on the bench right now, but I'm going to take you into the pros. I'm going to teach you how to be a baller. And there's going to be money falling from the sky. And you're going to be able to do this whether you like making sneakers or video games or cars or your favorite music. Doesn't matter what you're making. I'm going to show you how to turn it into a high-speed money machine. And then I'm going to put you on the racetrack and time you and see how fast you can move. All you have to do is raise your hand and say yes.